valid self-purpose?
I do.
The commission. Closing remarks. One last question.
I told you yesterday, lead council, that you know that somebody on contract cannot be dismissed. The contract is terminated either by the I got the removed my benefit for the decision to dismiss you from the income.
It's a whole part
of my son's. I did. We had told the madam to. He had for a whole year been threatening me. Passport. But they refused to issue me with the passport. All know what that means. So I continued like that. Documents to tender. If you don't know, Mr. Chairman, you asked me for something yesterday. You were asking about my relationship with Jame. So he said somebody in cabinet, they're all sitting. Somebody has a Adolf Hitler mustache. So move it to the Hague, the regional center here, training center for West Africa in Gambia. He agreed. US Africa. It was time for me to go. The meeting was to be in Addis Ababa in May. He said I shouldn't go. It was going to, they were going to approve it and we come and establish it here. Senegal and Nigeria were fighting for it. But because I could not go, we lost the opportunity. Why? His birthday was coming in May. At the during that same weekend, and he didn't want me to go. I had to go and attend it in Canada. He kept pushing and pulling, sending the file up and down. What is the OPCW? Who are members of the OPCW? Why are you going?
But of course, it was his birthday. You had to attend.
So we lost. These are things that he played around with. And in 2011 we were traveling on his yacht, going to Farafenni to celebrate his.
Oh, he had one.
He has a wooden yacht at Saro. By some Indians. So we were crossing to go to Bara, and he called me and he nuns. Don't you know that they are those ones? I said, sir, this is not the forum. Sorry. Let's talk about this thing somewhere else later. By the way, we cannot all be in one boat. It will sink. Allow others to ride in other boats. You can go and sit down. He didn't like that. But when I came back, everything. I lost my contract. When I came back, I applied to government to rescind the decision to dismiss me. They have requested, they have rescinded it, but they have refused to pay me. These are the consequences of my exile.
If you play with the snake, don't be surprised when it bites you.
So I have some lands I'm still struggling to collect. There's one in Salaji. Somebody is trying to build something on it. I will send you copies of the papers. Maybe commission can help me get them back. But the rest will live in the hands of God. We have suffered from the exile I cannot talk about in Dakar. It's crazy.
It's your victimization, just like that was Langton Box.
Yes.
So, kuchine kasa leket la.
Wow. Borom lal Muhammad lalam. Ya Jammeh nañ ko bàyyi. He says he wants to come over. Let him come. We will welcome him. let him just come. We will help those who wish to bring him back. Just let him come. He will find us by the grace of God. But it's because of him that we are in this jazz. I call it jazz. He put all of us in this jazz. And he's a big blasphemer. I would call him an egocentric, myopic, gluttonous, schizophrenic, sadist. That's how I'll describe him.
I wouldn't say very appropriate.
That's how I'll describe him.
Date damane. Waxumane non la mel de. Ya ko wax.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, over to you.
Thank you very much, Council, and thank you very much, Mr. Sambu, for your testimony.
Council, Mr. Sambu, ci seede yi nga joxe.
3 quick points. First, the memorandum that you said you brought, and a notation perhaps on it from Jamie. Can you just go through that quickly?
Ma wax fi ñetti bunta bu njëkk bi mooy kayit bi nga xam ne moom nga indi ak jàmme kàddu yi nga xam ne moom la ci binda ci lu gaaw.
Yes, there's a minute I sent to His Excellency. I said, HE, the Commander-in-Chief and Minister of Defense, that's how you address it. VIA via the Secretary General. Your Excellency's kind attention is respectfully referred to minute 23 at center of file. The package, sir, was transmitted through the Office of the Chief of Defense Staff whilst I was away on official mission with the then Chief of Defense Staff. It was a package brought in mails. I was also inopportune to meet His Excellency the Russian ambassador during that visit to Banjul and the subsequent one by the defense attaché to discuss the issue. Sir, the attack issue did not materialize prior to forwarding them to Your Excellency. In my bid to seek for the opportune moment, sir, note, sir, this much time elapsed, resulting in the inadvertent oversight. Your Excellency, sir, no man is perfect, and I am indeed one of them. It is for this reason, sir, that I once again crave Your Excellency's passionate indulgence to temper mercy in this very holy season of Tabaski. Please accept, sir, my very deepest apologies for any inconveniences I may have caused in the process. Most respectfully submitted, sir. Your Excellency.
Sir.
Signed, Harry P.F. Sambu, PSPMO, October 2012. Now his reply. PS/SG. Next time there is an oversight, you will pay a high price. Do not think that I have lost track of the numerous last warnings issued to you. I never received any warning. You do not seem to have any common sense of responsibility. And this is how he writes them.
Thank you very much. If you can just
there are many I could not trace them.
And it would be entered. Credible to have such an exchange between a head of state and a subordinate. Point 2, you raised the 3 blind mice nursery rhyme. Yami probably was the farmer's wife who had a carving knife. And the 3 blind mice were running after her. She cut off your tails with that carving knife and you said, sent you packing. You guys went ahead and sent that kind of note to him. Who was the main drafter of that statement?
I think it was the IGP. I think. I cannot remember fully, really.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I think it was the IGP, because we were in his office. think. I can't really fully remember, no.
And was the statement finally issued?
Oh yes, it was announced over the radio.
We have it on record, Council?
What we have is a very illegible version of some of the contents. It was a newspaper, published in the newspaper. We have it, but it's illegible. That's why I did not tender it.
And the three service chiefs drafted that memorandum, that statement.
Yes, but it was issued in the name of the IGP.
Well, the Gambian people will certainly reply, have you ever seen such a thing in your life as three blind mice all running up and down and you cannot come up? They would say no. Gambian people would say no. We have never seen three blind mice like that going around. It's incredible. Third point. Today is probably the 2 years, 19 days since we started these summer public hearings. But for me, well, again, you are I think the 324th witness to come here. But what I witnessed this afternoon is just incredible that the chain of your testimony, there's a link there that I don't get it. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to establish a bracket, a parenthesis, and ask you, if you can tell, without any interruption, and maybe the interpreters can come in and tell us exactly what happened from A to Z when Daba Marina and the co were being taken to Janjambure and the press statement was issued. Just go on, perhaps for 5 minutes, no more than that. Just tell us the story, because the thing was a bit convoluted for me. Council tried to bring it, to bring in some order there. Somehow I didn't get it. Can you please go ahead, tell us that story of when Dava and the co were being taken to Janjambure, and the entire story. Just go ahead with the entire story and tell us what exactly happened.
Léegi li ma bëgg rek mooy nga jël benn juróomi
Oh, sorry, interpreter.
jël benn juróomi minute rek nga nettalil ñu Daba Mare ak ay ñoñam li nga xam ne yépp moo xew ci seeni mbir ci tënk rek nga waxal ñu ko ñu xam ca ndoorte ga ba fam em.
Is Chairman asking me about the contents of the statement?
No, not at all. I'm asking you to tell me the story in your own words, what exactly happened.
Mu ne ndax chairman dafa bëgg mu wax ko li nga xam ne moom lañ binda waaye chairman ne ko déedéet yow ci sa kàddu bopp laa bëgg a xam.
Yeah, it's your involvement. You and the three service chiefs, the contacts you had with the president, just the story.
Would you believe that I don't know anything about how they were supposedly transported or whatever?
Fine. When did you hear it?
That day.
So go on, tell the story. I won't interrupt you. I just want to hear the thing consistently.
Tumbul said that 5 prisoners were being transported to Janjambure. And on the way, they had an accident. The vehicle somersaulted.
Go on.
That's it.
No, didn't stop there. The service chiefs met.
So
go on, continue the story until the press statement was issued.
In the morning, as I said, the chief of defense staff called me on the telephone that we were supposed to have a meeting at the police headquarters. And the three of us went to meet. And there he blurted out. That was when Chief of Defense Staff suggested we should inform Echi. But before that, we should issue the press statement. We sat down, knocked heads together, and drafted something and gave it, and the IGP drafted it and he released it.
génne ko ci bunte tassekaay xibaar yi.
From then,
ci gannaaw loolu.
we went to State House in a convoy.
ñu dem State House.
We went to Echi.
ñu dem ci Echi.
That's when he treated us like the three blind mice.
ci jamono boobu nag ci lañu daldi
and sent us packing.
dàq na ñu daldi dellu.
And during the drafting session in the IGP's office, contacts were left it out.
I could see the IGP walking from his desk to his chair.
Gis naa
to the telephone and back to the telephone.
jóge ko ci toogum bi di dem ci taabulam bi.
Trying to draft the.
ci téléphone am bi.
Just afterwards that I found out that they were talking to His Excellency.
gannaaw loolu nag ci laa xam nag ni moom ñoom ñu ngi doon wax ak His Excellency.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate. Commissioner Carr, followed by Commissioner Kinte. Who's on my right first? Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Jërëjëf Chairman.
Mr. Sambu, thank you for coming to share your story.
Sambu jërëjëf li nga ñëw pour séddoo ñun li nga xam ne moom nga xam.
And for helping the commission.
ak dimbale commission bi tamit.
I want to ask you 3 questions.
ñetti laajte laa la bëgg a laaj.
The first is, how do you think the NIA became a central tool to perpetuate Jammeh in office?
bu njëkk ba mooy naka la NIA ñëwee nekk koo xam ne dañoo dimbale Jammeh pour mu toog ci office am.
Can you please repeat?
The first is, how do you think the NIA became a central tool to perpetuate Jammeh in office?
I said it here.
The
NIA was
NIA
baby.
nekkoon nañ doom yi.
The NSS time
si time Jawara
was disbanded after the coup.
dañ ko tasaare gannaaw coup bi.
So Yaya Jammeh decided to create the NIA.
ci la Yaya Jammeh xalaat na pour sampa NIA.
He chose his own DG.
mu tànn benn kilifa goo xam ne moo ko tànnal boppam.
His own men.
mu tànn ay nitam itamit.
After a few months, 6 months, maybe ay
weer rek juróom benn weer jëm ko ci gannaaw loolu ci indi ci NIA.
But then he gave the Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council, AFPRC, drafted a decree 45.
ci jamono boobu nag AFPRC di nguuri soldat gi ci la ñuy taxawal nag benn.
which was all encompassing. And that's the Bible of the NIA. And he used the NIA for everything.
muy jëfoo NIA yi nag lépp ci lépp.
Mike.
Thank you. How did torture become institutionalized in the NIA?
I also said it here that Jammeh did not believe in the normal procedures of obtaining information from detainees or arrested people.
gëmut li nga xam ne ni mooy anam gi jaadu ci ni nga xam ne noonu la ñuy jotee ay bataaxel ci nit ñi nga xam ne dañ leen tuumaal dara.
To him, everybody was a threat.
moom kenn ku nekk ne daal njàqare la woon ci moom.
And he has to teach you a lesson so that you know that he is the boss.
te daf la war a jàngal loo xam ne nii bu nga xam ne moom mooy kilifa gi mooy boss bi.
So he will give instructions for you to be beaten.
so dafa joxe ndigal pour ñu dóor la.
And he will send his soldiers. In fact, fana dafa hebon sax NIA bi ci yoyu dafa son soldiers ñu ñew defal ko liñ ko sol liñ sol. I also said that he did not believe in this maslahating diplomacy and mom dal dole rek.
He always use force.
So for mom fok mo won na ni mom moy bour moy dole.
For him, he must show that he is the boss.
Thank you. The final question is looking back at your service.
At
various institutions in the country. From the NIA to central government. And the other institutions that you have worked for. Don't you think you could have done more to prevent the torture and other inhuman treatment that Gambians were subjected to?
I told you about Jammeh and power. even if somebody had a problem with him and you go and beg,
bu fekkee sax nit jote naa moom nga dem ñaanal ko.
like he wants to dismiss a minister, he wants to detain somebody, you go and say, sir, please, he's a family man, you know, hey, you have come here, I look at you.
daf laa wax ne la yow ñëwaat nga xoolal ma.
That's weakness. You're a weakling.
moom daf laa jàppe rek ne daal ku lottu nga.
So, with me taking my file, going to him, discussing with him, telling him, sir, like the ladies, let them go home. You want to replace them? Go.
Yóbbu fa suma file di ko ñaanal ne ko ndax jigéen ñi ñu jégale dafa wax ne kala da ngeen ko remplacer.
Society is all about. And wanting to do more,
pour dem leneen.
you land yourself in trouble.
da ngay mujjee dugal sa bopp rek ci jafe-jafe.
The testimonies here I've told you.
ci li nga xam ne nii lu laa fi gaara wax naa leen ko.
And
ak itamit
me alone,
man rek
I would stand out alone like a majority or minority in the whole sea of seals or whales.
damay nekk rek ñi bokk ci ñi nga xam ñoo gën a néew.
nañ ma brand ne ma mu ngay jaay gourmet ya wala mu ngay jaay intellectual ya because I was one of the few guys over there.
I may be seen as somebody who was showing my Christianity and being intellectual.
So it was only when I started bringing in this training program, sending these boys to university,
mooy jamono bi nga xam ne nii ci laa indi njàng mi
we started having.
kay commencé di dem ci university GTTI.
But I said it here that subsequent directors would bring in their guys in batches.
waaye wax naa fi yenn directeur yi dañ daan indi seeni nit.
That spiral down.
Just a follow-up question to that. I find it interesting because there were situations where you spoke to him about cases you've mentioned even just now, including anti-Ramsia. But would you not say that that would be a failure on your part? Because if I got you right, you mentioned that one of the reasons you took the job was to impact change. And if you took the job and we are not able to impact change, would that not be failure on your part?
In fact, I was sacked before I finished. Obviously, it's a failure.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinte.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sambu.
Mr. Sambu.
You told us that you were invited as service chiefs to the Office of the Inspector General of Police.
wax nga ñu ne dañ leen Office Inspector General of Police nga nekk ñoo xam ne ay njiit lañ seen buntu liggéeykaay.
And your mission was to discuss and strategize among yourselves how you will put up a press release.
léegi woon seen jubluwaay ndaje boobu mooy pour ngeen déggoo ci ay kaddu ni ngeen di boolooyee binda benn xibaar boo xam da ngeen koy tasaare.
And to subsequently meet the president.
gannaaw boobu nag bu ko defee ngeen gisee ak président bi.
You mentioned here that you never knew the communication that was happening within your corps was with the president.
wax nga fi ne xamuloo woon ne jokkoo bi nga xam ne moom la sa nit ñi doon def ak président bi.
Is that what you still maintain?
ndax loolu nga bëgg a jàpp ba léegi ne moo am.
Commissioner.
That the telephone calls that we are going in between, you never knew where they were going or coming from until afterwards.
ne téléphone call
is that what you still maintain?
xamuloo woon diggante kan ak kan la woon ba gannaaw gi ci nga ko door a xam loolu nga bëgg a jàpp ba léegi.
Commissioner.
Yep.
Commissioner.
Yeah.
President Jammeh is Jola.
President Jammeh Jola la.
Okay.
Tombong is Jola.
Tombong Jola la.
Ousmane Sonko is Jola.
Ousmane Sonko Jola la.
All Fonis.
ñoom ñëpp waa Foni.
Tumbul Tamba is Jola.
Tumbul Tamba Jola la.
Tumbul is a half brother or first cousin to Lang Tombo.
Tumbul.
When they are even sitting down and talking, I wouldn't hear what they are saying, and they are speaking Jola.
buñ toogee di wax sax di wax Jola du ma déggal li ñoo wax man Jola Kaasa laa dégg.
One. Two.
benn.
Lang Tombong and Ousmane Sonko were in this, it has always been Ousmane Sonko's senior.
daan toog saa bu nekk rek kilifa la ci Ousmane Sonko.
Ousmane Sonko has served under him for a number of years.
Ousmane Sonko nekk na ci ronam di liggéey ci ay at yu bari.
In the security service, if you are senior to somebody,
ci buntu service bi bu fekkee yaay
always
kenn
senior.
saa bu nekk rek yaa koy senior. yaay
Moreover,
kilifa
if he is your kith and kin.
waxuma laa nag jamono boo xam ne nii sa xale la.
When they are talking to HE, I wouldn't even know.
bu ñëwee wax ak HE duma ko yëg.
You've not answered my question. Are you still maintaining that you did not know until everything expired?
tontuloo suma laajte bi de li ma la laaj mooy ne xamuloo woon mbir mi ba gannaaw bi yëpp tasaaroo ci nga ko door a yëg.
No, bi ñoo draft nakate biñ dooree di draft kayit bi.
We are trying to draft the paper.
léegi Ousmane jóg dem ci téléphone bi.
Sometimes Ousmane will get up and go to the
mu
telephone.
jógaat ideas come up and we write.
Ideas coming from where? Kitsota, you still did not know that Yaya was participating.
Afterwards, I found out, of course.
But you said at the end, I just want to know whether that's what you maintain.
At the end?
Yes. It was only at the end that you knew they were communicating with Yaya.
Yes.
I want to refute that.
You want to refute it?
Yep. In your letter,
Statement.
a short letter you presented to the council,
Okay.
I remember you used many excellencies and many SARs.
The
Yeah.
the minute.
Go ahead.
Yes, the minute. I remember some other witnesses also said that you must repeatedly reaffirm your subordination to Yaya and His Majesty over you in order to be in his good books. And that's why every statement or every other statement will be policed with sa. Am I right? So I think while they were communicating, you must have known earlier that they were talking to Yaya, because the excellency and the sa must be very frequent.
Bon nag su fekkee ne noonu la demee war ngaa mun a xam kan la ñoo waxal ndax jamono ju ñoo wax ne di nga dégg ñu excellence naan saa.
Même if they are speaking in Jola or in whatever language,
ak làkka buñ mun a làkka foog saa bi moom.
this tradition must be maintained. No.
I know.
Yes. So you should have known quite earlier. So I want you to review that. That you knew they were communicating with Yaya, but you could have explained other things. I was dumbfounded. I was so amazed. I could not even have. I was in myself. But I knew they were talking with Yaya, and I did not participate in their talking. That one I could take. What's your view?
If you know the topography of the office of the IGP, there's a long chair on one side.
So how many
There is this desk somewhere around Commissioner C. There's a distance. And when you are talking to HE, you do that. You don't want the next person to know that what you're talking about, or you're talking to him. So by the time you talk and finish, the person might be an expert spy or busybody to try to find out what you're talking about. And obviously, I don't think somebody would be unwise enough to talk loud for the next person to hear that he's talking to His Excellency.
It cannot be audible to the extent that the person within the same office cannot hear the communication. Anything from the one side, from your side. That's unbelievable.
My apologies, Commissioner.
Commissioner.
Okay. My second point.
My apologies.
Instead of going to Yaya to confirm that you have already accomplished the assignment, I think you are giving us a wrong impression that you went to tell him you have already made a press release, you are now, coming to inform him of your actions and so on. Do you want to review that one also?
We go to HE and
orders.
No. to inform him that this is what happened.
My third point is, when you did that, according to your story, your narration, he asked you to go out and make sure these people are captured and brought to book. Was that not his instruction?
Indeed.
Custodian, how much has your office done to determine the truth from the falsehood as the situation is? How far have you gone? Who did you assign? What did they achieve? And so on.
ba loolu xewee nag yéen seen office moom lan lañ def kan ngeen sant pour mu def gëstu gi ak bu dee am na sax lan ngeen ci jëlee.
You know, Yaya Jammeh loves saying, what goes around comes around.
Yaya Jammeh nag dafa nekkoon ku soppa di jaatoo rey.
They went down the ground.
ci lañ dem nag ci lañ nekk nag di jéem a seet.
And don't forget they were also.
bu gàtt rek mu commencé.
Intelligence.
You have liaison offices like lead counsel said.
daan am ñoo
Inform them and tell them.
Remember, I already know that you have a whole unit oriented by your various regional outfits.
That's why I said.
As with S, it means you can give me 2 or 3 names.
I wouldn't remember. It's a long time.
duma ko mën a fàttaliku ndax yàgg na
2006.
loolu depuis
They also
2006
said, when I left, they were moved around. And when I took over, I met some there. So you wouldn't be able to know.
duma ko mën a xam.
Your memory has been so good in all your coming and going and
Yes, that is-
changes and
that
so
is
on.
true, Mr.
You know,
Kinte.
it is only this one that you cannot even vividly remember anything.
Well, I spoke to my deputy DG,
wax naa
Who was the
ki nga xam ne moo
deputy
topp ci
DG?
man
Mr. Haidara.
mooy Haidara.
And you ask him, you assign Hydra to all hands on deck for the mission.
Not particularly assigned.
Mhm.
There is
Couldn't come out,
there's a setup, there's an organogram, there's the director of external, director of internal,
I know.
director of operations. Now, I wouldn't remember who was where at that time, but obviously, definitely, we sat down at a meeting and we tabled this issue.
In which Marina was present?
No,
Yes, that's what you said. That's what you just said.
Excuse me?
no.
You said Marena. Marena is the one who's been disappeared.
Hydra. Sorry.
Yes.
Hydra.
At the meeting, all senior officers were there.
Yeah, but particularly you named Hydra as your
Yes, I
deputy.
named Hydra. He was my
Haidara moo
deputy.
toppa ci sa
He
kaw.
was my deputy.
And that means they went out for the
Hydra,
mission.
Hydra wouldn't go out. He at the
No, I know. When I mean they went out through the ladder, they assigned some.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
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 Field hands and so on. And
You
they-
have operatives on the ground.
I know.
Yes.
And then in that case, have they brought you any feedback?
ba nga leen ebalee pour def gëstu gi ndax ñëw nañ wax
And I
leen.
believe some of these things should be in writing, and so on, like minutes of that meeting, and when they came out, the report they submitted, and so on. Can you give us some evidence of any effort you have made to make some intelligent search?
Even
They
if
didn't
there were
wanna
those
just
writings,
film
they
it.
must have been. They must be there in the archives. I cannot do anything about it.
kenn am na itamit
I
mën naa
left a
nekk
few months
fi ñu ko
after.
fi ñu ko denc
And you know you cannot keep NIA documents outside.
te kayiti NIA mënoo koo def ci biti gannaaw loolu mën ma
Perhaps maybe I can help
The
here.
council and team, will.
Let me help Mr. Kinte
Yes,
here.
please.
Remember, I have raised this issue twice. First with General Tamba, and secondly with Mr. Sambu. Mr. Haidara said Mr. Sambu came and reported to them that the 3 service chiefs have just issued a press release indicating that these people have escaped custody. So Haidara said that he asked questions because none of them believed the story that the government came up with. And the reason why they did not believe was because they were familiar with how detainees were normally transported, especially high-profile detainees. So then he asked questions. And then Mr. Sambu told him that, well, write down those questions and write your name on it, and I would pass it on to the president. Remember, I just raised that. And he said he could not remember that. But this is Haidara's description of the matter. It looks quite clearly that the thing died down.
Natural death.
A natural death.
Yeah, because the challenge given to Haidara, he would not venture that. It seems something, Mr. Sambu had something under the sleeves. Because why ask him to, ask individual questions, and instead of following your mission, those are threats to Haidara. Those will be taken to the president. So it's Haidara's heads that will roll. He would not venture that. So that's how he died. So you participated in the cover-up, as council had always said. Admit that. And I'll take it to the president. Go down in it, confirming his... are you admitting that you are a...
Decision that there are two cover-ups. The first is to cover up what actually happened. That is, he has accepted participation, which is discouraging. Every inquiry knew what had happened. There are conspirators in the cover-up.
Yeah.
But involved. I would imagine Sonko would also say that he was not aware, he was not involved.
Yeah.
But it's for the commission to later look into these things and make up its mind as to what they believe.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinte. Commissioner Samba, you have the floor, please.
Harry P. Sambu.
Yes, madam.
Sisa Tenu. Bari Muside.
My mind, I think you said Daba Marino was your tight friend.
Te ben ko waxe ne kontaan na ne yow yaa
Still care of my family and Mariama.
da loolu yaa ngi ko sàmmal ci gannaawam parce que kaddu dee dafa diis.
Were you with that thing because it's somebody who died?
Wow, affaire yi jégalu bi loolu moo tax ñu ñëw fi.
For the aspect of the apology, that's why we were here.
Te dinaa ko def.
And I will do it.
Nit la.
I'm a human being.
Doomi Adama la. Dinaa ko def.
I will do it. Mariama.
Ca jamono.
At that time,
Def naa lu tuuti li ma mun.
I did the little thing that I could do.
Waaye mënuma ca woon a sori.
Why not? I couldn't go further than that.
Ñu ngi ma xool.
They were watching me.
Waaye afterwards.
But after that,
mu tukki.
she traveled.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Jerejef.
Thank you. Commissioner Carr, let me come back to you. You have a supplementary question. As the commissioners on my left-hand side, if they have any questions. Yes, Imam Diallo, you have the floor, please.
Witness,
Imam Diallo mu ne seede bi
the various experiences you have had in the services,
façon xam-xam yu bari yi nga xam ne am nga ko ci sa wàllu liggéey.
in view of the fact that you have been at the center of everything that happened in the NIA,
nekk ne yow yaa ngi woon ci digg bi ci lépp loo xam ne moo di dox NIA.
knowing the temperament of a bad leader,
day xamoon li nga xam ne njiit lu bon noonu la mel.
what would you advise your present service chiefs to ensure that they function as is expected?
loo war a dénku nag ñi nga xam ne ñooy ay njiit yoo xam ne ñu ngi jiite ay liggéeykaay ci anam yi nga xam ne noonu lañ war a defee li ñoo séntu ci ñoom.
Thank you.
First of all, they should subjugate themselves to the democratically elected government, civilian democratically elected government.
ci njëlbeen dañu war a moomale seen bopp ci nguuru démocratie gi nga xam ne ni mu ngay dox.
That the armed and security services are always
ni buntu yi nga xam ne ñoo saytu wàllu kaaraange waxtu wu nekk dañu war a
under the authority
ci ndigalu
of the civilian democratically elected
ci
government.
nguuri civil goo xam ne ni nguur gu jaar ci démocratie la.
That the culture of impunity
te tamit nga xam ne nii li nga xam ne mooy aada def dara rëcc ci.
and the abuse of their uniforms.
ak itamit di jaay doole surtout nag li nga xam ne ni mu ngi jëm ci seen maqaama uniforme bi ñuy sol.
And the lack of discipline.
ak ñàkk yar.
Within the ranks.
ci maqaama yi dañ toflante.
And the military civilian relationship.
ak itamit nag jokkoo bi nga xam ne nekk na si diggante militaire bi ak civilian yi.
These things should be maintained and
lii nag nekk na loo xam ne nii war nañ koy saxal dundal ko.
And the service chief should see to that.
te ci njiiti service yi bunti service yi war nañoo gis ne.
Not only that.
nekkul loolu rek sax de.
The welfare of the services, the men and women serving in these services.
nekki ni ñi nga xam ne nii ñooy liggéey si buntu service di góor ak jigéen.
Should be very well taken care of.
war nañ koo ciral bu baax a baax toppatoo ko.
That's their housing.
moo jëm nag si seen dëkkin.
Their feeding.
seen lekk.
Their logistics.
seen jumtuwaay.
And their salaries.
ak seen payweer.
Allowances.
ak seen ndàmpaay yi ñu ciy teg.
So that they will have they wouldn't have the mind to think of any other thing
bu ko
apart
defee
from
nag
serving
booba dootuñ amati leneen lu ñuy xalaat lu mooy def liggéey.
and be obedient
bu ko defee tamit ñu nekk ñoo xam ne ñu topp ndigal lañ.
to authority.
ci wàlli ndigal yi nga xam ne moo jóge koo ci kaw.
Thank you. There are, yes, Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Mr. Sambu, manglay garab ji li nga leral.
Mr. Sambu, I'm thanking you for what you have just make it clear here.
Lima jakal rek moy.
My only doubt here is.
Ngay dugg ci place bobu ndax bobu kamulo won yaay jame bu baax.
The time you were entering into that job, didn't you know Yaya Jammeh before that much?
Yalla demon na be sutural la jog la place bu baax.
God has saved you already that you were occupying another good place.
Yang ko sori.
You were far away from him.
Sa xel mu ngi dal.
Your mind was steady.
Nga jël duggal sa bop ci place bi nga xamantene.
And later you took up another job where you know that.
Bis bu ne ya ngay daw ya ngay moytu.
Every day you are preventing yourself from him and trying to distance yourself.
Ya ngay bis bu ne ñu lay indil ay jafe-jafe.
Every day you have lot of challenges.
Te daba bi nga tuddee fi mbiram.
And the double you just mentioned.
Li nga ñëkka def da nga joy.
What you first did, you cried here.
Fi nga jaar ak mom.
How you passed through what you did with him.
Man na am lead council wak na la mbiram.
Maybe lead council has told you about him.
Ni nga jëlé place am.
How you took over his place.
Ak ni nga ko taggeeti ni mel ci baaxay.
And how you praise him here.
Amulo ci ñaari semaine nga dégg ci mom ay jafe-jafe.
Less than 2 weeks you heard about his problems.
Boba nga warona xelaat sa mbir.
That was the time you should think about yourself.
Bi nga amé kayit yu baat.
When you are well educated.
Boba nga warona genn fekke sa kayit yi yam ko amé.
That's the time you should have gone when you are with your papers.
Man de li jagal la naka nga toogé won ci li.
This is what worries me, how you were maintaining this. Imam, thank you. And being is bound to change.
Need do sorti.
Nobody is completed.
Man meet.
Myself.
Linga fok.
What you thought of.
Ak li am.
And what will happen.
Du bena.
Will not be the same.
NIA.
And later I came back.
For one night,
I thought that I could have made some changes. Which could be very significant. I'm a Gambian citizen.
Security la janga.
And I am educated in security. That's what I know.
Normal government la.
If at all it was a normal government.
Senegal, PPP.
Like Senegal here.
Do they got send bad? You
not hear I thought that I was doing all I could have done. I thought that I could do it. My suggestion just failed me.
I'm not some closing remarks.
I have my closing remark and I will tell about it to make it more clear. Dabanat, I never thought that you would go to that level. Honestly, it was something It was very sad. I was very much disappointed in that. That's what I can say for now.
Thank you, Mr. Sambo. We'll make you, or allow you to make your concluding remarks after Commissioner Carr has got a supplementary question, he says. Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Sambu, there is something you mentioned here that you've told the Commission, which is that you are a passive participant in the investigations of the 2006 coup. What I don't understand is when it suddenly became necessary for you to go and inform the President with the other two service chiefs, you were willing to go. So I don't seem to be able to balance the two.
Mr. Ka, I already said here, we were three. It would have been very difficult for me. The situation was not tenable. I was working on very serious ground. Slippery ground. And I have to be very careful. So you sing along the tune. If not, there will be danger.
Thank you very much. You may now proceed, Mr. Sambo, to make your concluding remarks on your own behalf, not on behalf of the other two blind mice. Please go ahead and make your remarks.
I don't know what I have my reply here. I must seem to have misplaced it. My statement. Mr. Chairman, members of this August Commission, Mr. Lead Counsel, please permit me first of all to offer a moment of silence for the repose of all those who fell during Yaya Jammeh's harsh regime, including the late Solo Sandeng. And of recent, I heard Lead Counsel lost his some parents, relatives, parents. My sincere condolence. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Today's day is one day I have long yearned for. And I'm not only very glad, but privileged to have been accorded the opportunity to sit in front of you to tell my own story. In accepting to work at the National Intelligence Agency, little did I know how challenging and demanding it would be. Contrary to what prevailed at the former National Security Service, under the First Republic of Sadauda Kairaba Jawara, things turned out to be completely different. As the old English adage says, power corrupts absolute, power corrupts absolutely.
te tamit bu gën a yokk sax gën a yaatal gerit.
I, along with some of my colleagues,
man ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ne sumay nawla lañ woon,
was carried away by the wind of power drunkenness.
ñu nag dañ ñu yóbbaale woon rek ngir doole ji nga xam ne nii ñu ngi ci woon.
Under the whims and caprices of a dictator.
ci li nga xam ne nii moo nekk xalaat ak neexaay koo xam ne nii nguur ak jaay doole rek la fi daan doxe.
The events that took place at the NIA,
xew-xew yi nga xam ne nii moo xewoon ci NIA bi,
as recounted by various witnesses,
yoo xam ne ni na nettali na ko fi lu bari di ay seede yu fi teew,
confirmed that it was transformed
dal di woon na dëggal nag ne dañ ko wëlbati yoon
from an intelligence gathering institution
di bërëb boo xam ne nii dañ faa dajale ay mbóot ay luñ xerewlu
to a torture chamber
def ko na bërëb boo xam ne bërëb bu mbugaleekaay la.
at the behest of the former president and commander-in-chief of the Gambia Armed Forces.
ci li nga xam ne nii neex nag ak itamit ndigal loo xam ne nii kenn la woon di njiiti réew His Excellency Yaya Jammeh.
The amount of suffering and pain
di méttit yi nga xam ne nii nekk am na fa.
meted out on victims and their families
yoo xam ne nii teg nañ ko ci ñi nga xam ne nii ñoom lañ fa toroxal ak seeni njaboot.
was great and immeasurable.
nekk na loo xam ne nii daal xamuñ dayo bi ni mu toll.
Over the years, on the orders of one man,
lépp ci benn at bi ci ndigal loo xam ne muy tukkee ci benn nit.
Yaya Jammeh.
di Yaya Jammeh.
This situation can only be described
lii nag jamono la boo xam ne niñ ko mën a leer niñ ko mën a tuddee mooy.
as regrettable.
loo xam ne nii ak rëcc rek lañ ci mën a amee.
And for this,
ci kaw loolu.
I wish to express my wholehearted and sincere apologies
maa ngi àggale suma jéggalu ci
to the Gambian populace,
ci nit ñi dëkkee ci réewi Gambia.
and in particular
ak rax sa dolli.
all those affected victims
ñi nga xam ne nii ñoom ñoo ci loru woon.
and their families.
ak seen ak njaboot.
It is easier to forgive
yomb na nag pour jéggalu.
than forget.
ni fàtte.
But the old English adage again says,
waaye ba tey rek ci léebu angale.
to err is human,
ci tooñ nag mu ngi aju ci doomu aadama.
but to forgive is divine.
waaye njëgal nag mu nga des sa borom ba.
As a senior civil servant,
li kenn nag ci kilifa goo xam ne liggéey na ci nguur.
I thought and believed that
yaakaaroon naa itamit ne.
I was working for the president and commander-in-chief of the day.
maa ngi doon liggéeyal président ak commander of chief bu bés bi.
The government of the day.
government di nguur gi nga xam ne mooy dox ci jamono ji.
My duty was to be committed.
suma liggéey moo nekkoon ma am xërtu si.
and loyal.
dal di am kóllëre.
Little did I know
lu ndew li nga xam ne ni mujjee naa ci xam ne.
that everything would be so personalized.
mujjee gi ndeke yëpp dañ koy mujjee moomale kenn.
and centralized.
ak itamit sisale ko ci benn.
with orders.
ak ay ndigal.
coming direct from the State House.
joo xam ne ni ñu ngi jóge ko ca State House.
The department was not independent enough
bunta bi nag nekkutoon loo xam ne nii dafa taxawaloon boppam rek.
to perform its rightful duties.
pour def nag liggéey bi li nga xam ne moom lañ séntu ci moom.
and became derailed.
te itamit mu nekk.
added to that.
yokk ca itamit ne.
the frequent changing of director generals.
wécceeku yi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko doon am ci bopp ñi nga xam ne ñoo ko jiite woon toujours ñu génne kii indi keneen.
rendered the institution weak and inconsistent in leadership.
na sax lool na lool buntu liggéeykaay boobu noonu ak ci li nga xam ne mu ngi aju seen wàllu njiit yaa.
The right criteria
li nga xam ne nii mooy doxalin bi wéroon.
and qualifications
ak màcc ak liggéey ga.
were overlooked
dañ li woon nañ ko weesal.
in their appointments.
ci li nga xam ne mooy seen tànneef.
Kinship and loyalty
ak li nga xam ne mooy njiit ak kóllëre gi nga xam ne moom lañ ca fas.
mbokaya
ak mbokaya
were the order of the day.
moo nekkoon li nga xam ne daal loolu lañ daan doxalee.
The end results we all know.
ci mujjantal gi ñun ñëpp xam nañ ne.
The end results we all know.
ci ni mujjee nga xam nañ ne.
I am inclined to admit that.
nangu naa pour maa ngi am pas-pas pour nangu ne.
Following my directorship.
toftal nag suma directorship njiit yaa.
That of the late Mamadou Keba Jallow Pa.
di ki nga xam ne mooy ndem si yàlla Mamadou Keba Jallow Pa.
and the late Ben Jammeh.
ak ki nga xam ne nii moo ndem si yàlla Ben Jammeh.
all hell broke loose at the NIA.
ñoom ñëpp daal nekk nañ ñoo xam ne nii amoon nañ ay texe foofu si NIA.
déedéet affaire yi biir NIA mel ni daal lu takkarnaase.
affaire yi NIA mel ni loo xam ne dafa takkarnaase ñu ngi jégalu.
Needless to say.
jarul sax wax ne.
all three of us.
ñoom ñett ñi ñëpp.
we are university graduates.
ñëpp ay waa university graduate lañ.
and tended to professionalize things.
te tamit pare woon na liggéey boo xam ne ni dañ ko jaarale ci yoon niñ ko séentoo.
without success.
waaye nag mu jëwutoon sotti.
thanks to the interference of President Jammeh.
sant yàlla nag ci ndimbali président.
there was a time.
amoon na yenn jamono.
when the Swiss.
ci jamono bi nga xam ne Suisse yi.
and the Senegalese.
ak Sénégalais yi.
took the NIA as reference.
jël nañ NIA gi def ko muy royukaay.
in the West Africa sub-region.
mu nekk ci diwaani Afrique sowu jant.
in just 4 years of existence.
ci ñeenti at yoo xam ne nii rek mu ngi doon dox.
but alas.
waaye nag bu léegi.
ndeysaan. in a personal meeting with Barack Obama's former Undersecretary for Africa.
gannaaw boo xam ne def nañ meeting ak ki nga xam ne nii moo nekkoon Barack Obama.
Secretary pour Africa.
Secretary ci diwaani Africa.
Johnny Carson.
during
a 10-day Defense Department sponsored seminar in Portugal, Lisbon.
ci fukki fan yoo xam ne ni nag jotaay la boo xam ne lañ ca doon waxtaan muy aju ci wàlli kaaraange.
back in 2010.
ci 2010 ca Lisbon, Portugal.
I raised US-Gambian relations.
ma wax fa nag lu aju ci wàlli diggante jokkoo diggante Gambia ak United States.
what he told me was.
li ma wax mooy.
President Obama wanted strong institutions in Africa.
President Obama bëgg na buntu liggéeykaay yu dëgër ci diwaani Africa.
and not strong men.
waaye nag duut ay góor yu dëgër.
a direct reference to President Jammeh.
loolu nag nekk na loo xam ne nii mu ngi ko jëmale ci président Jammeh.
the advent of the new Barrow dispensation in 2016.
li nga xam ne nii mooy nguur ak Barrow ci commencement ci atum 2016.
awakened all of us, including my good self.
na ñu ñëpp ñu bari bokk na ci daal ci man ci suma bopp.
the yearning of a new dawn in the Gambia.
li nga xam ne nii moom lañ doon séntu fii ci réewi Gambia.
hovered over people like me out in exile in Senegal and abroad. wasteful and useless years in Dakar, Senegal.
am naa ñeenti at yoo xam ne nii maa ngi ko def ca Dakar, Sénégal yoo xam ne nii jëriñu ma dara.
as an asylum seeker.
di nekk koo xam ne nii maa ngi ut kayiti làqu.
having to run for my life.
jamono boo xam ne maa ngi dawal suma bakkan.
like hundreds of others, poor and helpless Gambians.
mel ni ñeneen ñi nga xam ne ay téeméeri doomi Gambien yoo xam ne nii nag ñoom itamit amuñ ku leen dimbale.
from Yaya Jammeh's brutal and tyrannic regime.
ci nguur ak Yaya Jammeh gu métti gii.
united in fear and yet divided by distrust.
benn booloo nag njëkk ragal ak itamit nag tasaaroo ak itamit ci loo xam ne nii daal tas na suñ xel.
Gambian refugees in Senegal.
réfugiés daw làqu yi nga xam ne ñoo nekk ca Sénégal.
struggle daily for survival, not knowing what lay in store for them the next day.
nga xam ne nii saay bu nekk rek ñu ngi jéem a seet ni nga xam ne noonu la ñuy dundee te itamit xamuñ nag lan mooy ñëw gannaaw loolu.
the UNHCR.
buntu liggéeykaay mbootaay United Nations bi nga xam ne ñoo dox lu jëm ci mbiri daw làqu UNHCR.
red tape mooy seen jaxasoo yi ni ñëw liggéey.
seen jaxasoo yi liggéey yi.
all due respect to them.
ak seen liggéey yëpp.
was incapable of coming to our daily needs.
mënoon nañoo ñëw ak si suñ li nga xam ne moo nekk suñ aajo.
especially for the homeless.
rawatina ñi nga xam ne ni amuñ dëkkuwaay.
the unskilled.
ñi nga xam ne ni amuñ métier.
and uneducated.
ñi nga xam ne ni amuñ njàng mu doy.
in a hostile Dakar environment.
ci Dakar ci nekkin boo xam ne bu métti la.
yet Yaya Jammeh's elite killer commandos.
yet ba léegi tamit Yaya Jammeh ñi nga xam ne nii ñoom la daan ebal ndawam yi nga ko daan reyal.
permanently roam the streets of Dakar.
saay bu nekk rek ñu ngay dox ci mbeddi Dakar yi.
and other Senegalese localities.
te yeneen béréb yi nga xam ñoo nekk ci Sénégal.
to kidnap or eliminate prospective enemies.
ngir rey wala jàpp ñi nga xam ne nii ñooy daw ñi dawoon noonu.
on Senegalese soil.
ci suufi Sénégal.
my sincere and deepest gratitude.
su ma ngeen maate nag.
to the very politically mature government of Macky Sall.
ci
President Macky Sall.
nguuris Macky Sall goo xam ne nii gu màcc la ci politique.
for their eagle's eye watch and protection.
ci ñi nga xam ne daal noonu lañ daan gën a bàyyee xel.
of all of us Gambian refugees in Senegal.
lu jëm ci suñ kaaraange ñun ñi nga xam ne ay daw làquy Gambien lañ nekk ci réewi Sénégal.
I for one.
man ci suma bopp.
I'm very grateful.
man nag sant naa.
for the particular VIP cover.
ci teraanga gi nga xam ne nii defal nañ ma ko ci ak càngaay.
and protection.
ak kaaraange.
offered me.
yuñ ma joxoon.
during my stay in Senegal.
si suma jamonoy jotaay ca réewi Sénégal.
On the home front,
ci biir kër gi ci biir fii.
I wholeheartedly welcome
daal maa ngi rafetlu tamit bu baax.
the advent of the Barrow coalition-led government.
di nguuri président Barrow gi nga xam ne nii nguuram manko gi nga xam ne moom ko jiite woon.
In 2016.
ci atum 2016.
This is the best relief.
li nag mooy li nga xam ne moo gën a seddal bopp.
Any progressive Gambian
képp Gambien boo xam ne nii mu ngi xeeñtu lu jëm ci yokkute.
could have dreamt of.
moo xam ne ni mu nga koo gént.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I pray that Allah the Almighty
maa ngi ñaan ci borom bi subhanahu wa taala
grants President Barrow
mu may président Barrow
the fortitude
xoli muñ kaaraange
and will
ak ina
to succeed with all his programs within the framework of his NDP.
mu sottal nag ak lépp li nga xam ne nii mu ngi aju ci mébét ci yokkute yi nga xam ne ni def na ko am na ko.
We all remember how the Christian community, Gambian Christian community,
ñun ñëpp xam nañ Gambian Christian community bi
in its modest way,
ci seen anam ngi tàlli gi
contributed immensely
niñ yaatalee seen ndollal ñoom itamit
towards the success of the removal of dictator Yahya Jammeh in December
ci niñ
2016,
sottalee génne fii Yahya Jammeh ci atum 2016
who was brought up by a Christian foster family.
nga xam ne moom ñu ngi ko yar nag ci njaboot ak Christian.
We have had national days of prayer
dañ daan am ay fan yoo xam ne ni ñu ngi doon ñaan ci réew mi
for the removal of Jammeh
pour nag ñu génne fi Yahya Jammeh
and the peaceful transition of the new dispensation respectively.
ak tamit jébbalam nguur goo xam ne ni dañ ko jaarale ci jàmm.
And we will continue to pray for our beloved country, the
te
Gambia.
dinañu continuer di ñaanal nag suñ jàmm gi Gambia gi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko amal cofal suñ bopp.
The word secular
baat bi ñu waxee secular
eluded us despite our expressed concern
yaxal nañu nag ak li nga xam ne tamit soxal nañu
to the Constitutional Review Commission
ci xew wecceeku yi nga xam ne ni am na ci wàlli commission boobu.
owing to a misrepresentation and misinterpretation of the word by some local socio-religious organizations.
Mr. Sambu, I think we are going beyond the purpose of this closing remark.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. Mr. Chairman, please allow me to express my deepest concern for the youth of this country.
Mr. Chairman, may ma agalis li nga xam ne mooy suma xol ci li nga xam ne soxal na ma ci réew mi.
I would appeal to government
danaa d'appel nag ci nguur gi sàkku ci nguur gi.
seriously look into youth education and employment.
ñu bàyyi xel nag ci li nga xam ne mu ngi aju nag ci wàllu njàng ndaw yi ak seen buntu liggéeyukaay.
May I also kindly appeal to our local political leaders
naa jégalu sàkku itamit ci ñi nga xam ne suñ kilifa lañ ci wàllu politique bi.
to exercise tolerance and political maturity in their quest for the highest office in this land.
ñu dugal masla ak muñalante ci xeñtu bi nga xam ne ñu ko xeñtu lu jëm ci seen buntu politique.
The Gambia is a melting pot.
Gambia nag nekk na béréb boo xam ne nii.
And we are all related.
ñun ñëpp dañ bokk.
And the country belongs to all of us.
te réew mi ci ñun ñëpp la ñun ñëpp a ko bokk.
Unity is strength.
bennoo nag mooy doole.
I wish to finally thank all friends and relatives.
fi may mujjee nag mooy damay gërëm nag xarit ak mbokk yi yëpp.
home and abroad.
ñu nekk fii ci réew mi ak ci bitim réew.
particularly my wife and immediate family.
rawatina suma jabar ak suma njaboot gi.
My mother, Teacher Gine Sambu.
suma yaay Gine Sambu.
And for all the support during my trying times.
ak ci mboolem ndimbal boo xam ne def nañu ko ci jamono suma tolof.
And to apologize once again.
di jégalu tamit beneen yoon.
to all Gambians.
ci Gambien ci yëpp.
for any wrongdoing.
ci lépp ñaawteef boo xam ne ni def nañ ko.
ever.
ci fii.
through this August commission.
jaaree ko nag fii ci commission bi.
I am sincerely sorry.
maa ngi jégalu bu baax.
I would like to make some recommendations.
danaa am ràññeef yoo xam ne ni bugg naa koo def.
One, that measures are included.
yoo xam ne ni sarta yi bokk na ci.
the new draft constitution.
di loi bu ees bi nga xam ne ni moom la ñu bind.
for the protection of public servants.
ci kaaraange ñi nga xam ne ni ñooy liggéey ci nguur gi.
who refuse to carry out illegal orders.
ñi nga xam ne ni dañoo bañ a topp ndigal loo xam ne ni dëppoowut ak yoon.
just like in the recently passed.
comme niñ ko daan defee rek ci nguur gi nga xam ne moom la ñu jox gannaaw.
to also.
te tamit.
that proper and adequate measures.
ci yeneen i anam yoo xam ne ni ay sarta yu wér la.
are also included in the draft constitution.
yoo xam ne boole nañ ko ci loi boobu ñuy bind.
for the subjugation of the armed and security forces.
ci li nga xam ne mu ngi jëm ci wàllu benn buntu liggéeykaay service bi.
the democratically elected civilian government of the day.
nguur gi nga xam ne ni nguuri civilian gi nga xam ne dañ ko tànn jaarale ko ci démocratie.
So as to discourage
pour nag ñu tayalloo.
the culture of impunity.
ñu tayalloo nag li nga xam ne ni mooy aada def dara te kenn dootu la ci topp dara rek mu jeex noona.
Long live the Gambia.
ñu ngi ñaanal di Gambia.
I thank you for your kind attention.
Gërëm naa leen lool ci seen teewaay bu rafet.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Sambo, for your very lucid and concluding remarks.
jërëjëf Mr. Sambo ci sa kàddu yu nga gaaral.
Thank you again for coming to testify before the Commission. Council, I believe we have some exhibits to be submitted.
Yes, three exhibits. The Amnesty International report of 2nd December 1997 should be Exhibit 191, and the minute sheet, minute 24, of letter emanating from Harry P.F. Sambu of 24th October 2012, and subsequently minuted to by His Excellency the President, Alhaji Yaya A.J.J. Jammeh, should be Exhibit 191A.
A as in apple?
Yes. And Exhibit 191B is also another minute from His Excellency the President responding to a minute of a Principal Assistant Secretary from Ministry of Defense, should be Exhibit 191B.
Thank you very much, Council. Again, Mr. Sambu, thank you again for coming to testify before the Commission.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Sambu has provided his dismissal, the letters terminating his appointment, and that of 2006, and that of 2013, and that of 2018. That is the commutation of his dismissal to termination. The only issue is that we are not dealing with terminations. So the Commission can receive it or can give them back to Mr. Sambu, because we are not dealing with this particular issue. Yeah. But I leave that to you.
The only reason why we need to look at it is if he's referenced those terminations or those notes in his statement. If they are referenced in his statement, we can give them exhibit numbers.
They are referenced in his testimony.
Splendid. Let's go ahead and then give
that
the numbers.
Should be the 2006 letter, 10th November 2006, should be Exhibit 191C, and the letter of 28 January 2013 informing him of a dismissal would be Exhibit 191D, and the commutation of the dismissal to termination should be Exhibit 191E.
That completes that?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Council. And this brings us to the end of our proceedings for this evening. We will resume tomorrow morning, sharp 10 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality, excellent money transfer service. If you want to receive monies from your family service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store.